Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. As Rosie said, it's really uh, a great, as close as we can get replication to our end of the year party to see so many of your faces. Um, I'm going to start by saying uh, this is normally it is one of my favorite nights of the year. Kind of going all out and having such a great, fun night with all of you. Um, as much as there is still some like a little bit of sadness about not being able to do that, um, I think it's a really great sign that this group of people says, you know what, we're gonna have fun one way or the other, and we're gonna celebrate a great year and do it in this fashion. But I also think, guys, this means that roughly a year from now, uh, I really think we're gonna throw the party to end all parties. So know that that is coming. TBD on exactly when and what that looks like, but I feel like we just have that to look forward to as well. So I'm gonna hand it off to Rosie here in a moment, but I just want to open us by saying, and I know many of you have heard me say this, uh, in the middle of a year that presented so many challenges that no one saw coming, I am struck by how many things we have to be grateful for and to celebrate. As an industry, as a company, as professionals, as teams, as individuals, as friends. Um, and I'll be honest, I do think there is like it's fair for us to say, hey, our we had an amazing year in the middle of some circumstances where a lot of our friends, a lot of our peers in the city, a lot of other industries were facing the sorts of things that we thought, in March that we might be. And so my philosophy on this is that I think you can do both. I think you can say, we recognize and understand that so many of our friends and neighbors in Indianapolis are suffering in ways that we're not. And that matters and that we should care for them and that we have responsibilities and that there's a lot of sadness. I think you can say that and mean it and have fun and be grateful and celebrate what happened for us as an industry and company as individuals this year. So I want to put that out there and say that I just, again, to be honest, to be authentic and say in January of 2021, celebrating 2020 just it feels a little weird. But I think it's worthwhile. And maybe in some ways, celebrating some of the good things might actually be more important right now because there's a lot to be challenged by. So celebrate the things that you can. So I am so grateful for you, for all of the people here, for what we experienced this year as again as an industry and as a company, as individuals. So thanks for choosing to join us tonight virtually and celebrate this. We're gonna have a good time. Um, I'm also now realizing, by the way, that because Rosie is sharing her screen, I can only see about six of you, and I'm not really sure if I've said any of my token phrases yet. But I'm looking forward to hearing how that goes as well. Thank you to Spencer, Phil, and Billy, always adding to the celebration. So thanks for being here. We have a lot to celebrate. We'll share quite a bit tonight about kind of the year in review and a few things about what's coming next. So, Rosie, take it away.
Wait, can someone quickly tell me, is there a bingo game going on right now? Bingo drinking game, perhaps?
No, it's a
Cool.
drinking game about you, me, and Rex, Rosie.
Me too? I'm
Spencer,
included?
Rosie,
Yeah, I
you
can't wait to
have
show you what.
often
Yeah.
joked about the go-to phrases that Rex and I have, maybe kind of pretending like you don't have go-to phrases. So this year, Spencer, Billy, and Phil, the thrill, included you in the go-to phrase drinking game, which I very much appreciate.
Oh my God. It's like no one is ever aware of what their own phrases are. And so I literally have no idea what is on this, but I can't wait to find out. So cool. Oh, I was like, Jenny, now I'm watching you to see if you like look down and mark something off on your bingo or drinking card or whatever it is. Okay, I'm gonna get started. Thanks for making me more nervous. Okay, so I want to tell you guys about a really shitty book that I read this year. It's called The Great Influenza. Can you see this? I purposely don't have myself on camera right now. So when the pandemic first broke out, Jason, my boyfriend, and I decided like maybe we should just try to figure out what the hell we're getting ourselves into and read a book about what's to come. And so we read The Great Influenza together, and honestly, it was a total snooze. Like, don't ever read the book; it's terrible. It's also pretty depressing. But I will say there was about a 3-page segment that really spoke to me. And it was about the founding of Johns Hopkins University and Hospital. And I think most of us have heard of that name before. Probably a lot of us, didn't know the history of it. I certainly didn't. But it's one of the first research medical hospitals, or it's considered one of the first research medical hospitals in America. And they have this 3-page section in the book where they go through talking about the building of the staff and the doctors and the scientists that came there. And they're all kind of gathering around this idea of like, we have to make a vaccine for the Spanish influenza, or the Great Influenza, Spanish flu. And so it just talks about all of these people that are gathering, and how through either personality or different skill sets that they're bringing, how they all work together and contribute and end up forming this amazing community of people who are collaborating and end up creating some of the greatest medical advancements of our time. And it reminded me a lot of Platt. Obviously, not that we are, developing vaccines or creating like crazy medical treatments. I know that's not the case, but it's my privilege and honor to get to assist with bringing people on to this company. And I think I really see the gift that each person brings to our group, and how how they change and shape our culture and who we are. And so tonight I wanted to tell you a little bit about the people who joined us this year and what I really love about them. So, and I think what they've brought to the table. So I'm just gonna jump in. So first on the list is Karen Farber. If you guys don't know Karen, she managed a vet clinic for years before getting her real estate license. And the first time I met with her, or one of the first times, she came in and her arm was like completely ravaged by a cat who like went batshit crazy. And so I just think that if you ever have difficult clients to work with, I think she has a lot of experience with that, and you should talk to her. Michaela Downey, you have an amazing sense of style, and you're a reminder of the type of person we should all strive to be when we grow older. You're full of life. Sarah Dillinger, your concern for justice and fair treatment of all people. Thanks for giving a damn. Steve Lunsford, you're always the first one to give us feedback, positive or negative. You make us better because you're willing to share. Johanna Strother, you share authentically about your life in a way we all need to hear. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Richard Vinson, you're gonna hear me totally murder a couple of names here, but Richard, You're always a friendly face in the office. You're the first one to walk up and say hi and start a conversation with any of us. Leslie Gardner, you care so deeply about your clients and their experience. You also teach people how to do really good burpees. If you guys don't know, Leslie is one of my coaches at the gym. She sees me every morning at 5:45. Max Rhoda, y'all. Max, God, is y'all one of my things? Now I'm just a little paranoid about like what my things are. All right, just tell me later. Max is probably one of the few of us that can say he's been to all 50 states. Also, he immediately jumped in and started taking Zillow calls for Chuck. So I just feel like we all have a lot to learn from him. Angela Cardwell, you're so young, 21, maybe 20, I think, and you've just jumped right in. You are eager to learn in a way that I think lights a fire under everyone else's ass. Good work. John Gehring, you show up. I feel really dumb if you're not on this call, but you show up to like every single thing we do and you always have your camera turned on. So thank you. I see that and it means a lot. Lance McElfresh. How can anyone not smile when they're around Lance? Am I right? He's just the greatest. He lights up every room he walks into. Lance, thanks for showing us how to be gentle and kind in a world that sometimes feels really harsh. Andy Porter, I feel like you can become friends with anyone instantly. I feel like I've known you forever. Your loyalty and your frankness are such a treat. Jake Roop. Oop, moving slide. Oh no, wait a second. Jake Roop, Roop like poop, if no one else has heard that yet. That's how he says it. That's not my thing. Just would like to note that. Jake, I think it's your steadfastness, your willingness to creatively solve big problems and your ingenuity that make us so much better. Lydia Vidana, you have the most beautiful hair. Holy crap. And also, this is the second time you've signed up to work with Shane. So I just feel like you have to be a saint. Sorry, Shane, I love you. Silva Zhang, where to even begin? Your love of life, people, and Ransom Place, the way you're a champion for others, and the way that you've somehow convinced Michelle and I to go donate blood with you every 2 months. Good work. Steph Gray, thanks for genuinely caring about neighborhood development. You help me think about things like equality, poverty, and gentrification. That shapes our culture and our training and makes us better people and agents. Also, your TikTok videos are the best things I've ever seen. Eric Weidman, your selflessness, question asking, and eagerness to build community. You're one of my favorite people to call up just for a chat. Nick Cosentino. Who doesn't want Nick's life? If you don't follow him on Facebook or Instagram, you're missing out. Sometimes I just dream about being Nick Cosentino. But even more of an inspiration is your energy and your drive to create beautiful places and beautiful companies. Greg Otterman, you win the most interesting random fact award. So here are a couple to pique everyone's interest. Greg used to be Zach, Canada's neighbor. He lived in Costa Rica for a period of time. And if you're at all into cigars like I am, his current side hustle is working at the Burn Cigar Lounge downtown. Mark Sprout, your kind and gentle demeanor. And you may not know this, but your encouragement to me about the Plot Commons website on a day when I was ready to scrap the whole project. Thank you. Lago, I'm going to completely mispronounce your last name, but I'm thinking it might be Erganov. Let me know. Guys, if you're a reader, you should have a conversation with Blago. He'll nerd out with you over your book love, and then he'll actually go and read the book you suggested. It's amazing. And also hints his newfound love of Anthony Bourdain and Kitchen Confidential. If you haven't read it, just do. Jahida Aspina, your kind and loving spirit, especially in the way that you love your daughter. Jacob Adut, the way you're creating your own path and reinventing your business. Eliza Wilson, literally every outfit you wear is an inspiration. You're so fashionable, but more than that, you inspire me to do things well and to do things right. Jake Forth, your energy and excitement for this new phase in your career. So excited to see where you end up. Oh, I always forget to change slides. You guys are gonna have to help me. Stu Harvey, if you guys haven't met Stu, he back. He was with us a while back and he is back. Stu, your kindness and your love of travel. So fun to see all the places that you go. Jamie Santos, the way you love your community and the way you always have a story tucked in your back pocket. I love chatting with you. Jacob Howery, your willingness to continuously take a leap and try something new in your life. Drew Tomasic. Drew is our most recent transfer. I think maybe his license got moved yesterday or today. So I'm still just getting to know you, but from our conversations, I can already tell you that you are such a good listener. And even more than that, I think you'll be a really amazing influence on all of our lives. These last two are not new agents, as you can see, but they are people who have joined our staff this year, and I just wanted to give them a special shout out. So Gigi, for you, what you bring to the table is your unwavering and bold sense of style. Holy crap, every outfit you wear is beautiful. And your determination to do things really right and to add value. You make my life and my job easier and better every single day. Last but not least, Crystal White. I could say about 1,000 good things about you, who couldn't, but more importantly, you make me dance a little bit whenever I'm in your presence. So thank you for that. I'm so excited to see what we can build together. God, it's really weird doing that without being able to hear you guys. But thank you for listening. Thanks, Eric Lance, for the clap. Welcome to the family, guys. We're really glad you're here. Lastly, I want to just give a special shout out to our sponsors of our three kind of holiday end of year celebration, the pie tea, the winter lights, and now this. If you haven't got a chance to work with Amy Judge or Matt Davis, they're lovely human beings and yeah, good at what they do. Okay, now on to the really fun stuff. I'm going to pass it on to Rex Fisher, and he's going to be going over the numbers with us. Rex, take it away, sir.
Hey, thank you, Rosie. I do have numbers, and I'm very excited to get into those. Before I get into the numbers of the brokerage, I'd like to get into the numbers of the city for 2020. So here's some lightning round stuff for y'all that I've just been following throughout the year that I think is noteworthy, that has me excited for what is ahead. For Indianapolis, this city in 2020, with COVID and a myriad of challenges that we saw globally and nationally, Indianapolis saw the least employment loss of any major US city. Indeed, we had a dip of about 11% loss that rebounded by June to just over 4%, or July, sorry, to just over 4%. This is a state that in 2020 saw $5.6 billion in economic investment, provide over 31,000 jobs at a record-breaking average salary of $58,000 per year. We had a record-breaking venture capital investment amount within life sciences of $257 million. And in the first half of 2020, we had $176 million invested in venture capital in general, which is up 76% over 2019 for the same time period. Our soon to be new neighbor at BottleWorks, High Alpha, launched 9 companies this year. I believe that is a record for them. If not, it is a high mark in recent years. Eli Lilly bought a $1 billion pharma company. Salesforce bought Slack for $27 billion, which continues to have an impact here in our city. And in 2010, so a decade ago, there was over 1 million square feet of vacant office space just within the mile square. From 2021 to 2025, there is more than 4 billion in development taking place in that same area, which is more than was invested in downtown across the last 20 years. Some of the things that are making that up in the road ahead, and we'll kind of graduate here, is downtown getting the announcement of a 28 million Top Golf competitor. There you go, Mark. The Cultural Trail announcing a $30 million expansion. The Gold Building downtown receiving a $50 million renovation, or announcing a $50 million renovation. Bankers Life Fieldhouse beginning a $362 million renovation. A $550 million redevelopment of Pan Am Plaza being announced. IU Health announcing a $1.6 billion development of their 8-block downtown hospital campus. Those are just a few that add up to that 4 billion. And we need to also pay attention to Indianapolis near West Side. 16 Tech opened up their phase 1 of their $500 million campus. Elanco just announced their decision to relocate their global headquarters to the old Waterside development, which is part of a $300 million development. Elanco, for those of you that don't know, was Eli Lilly's most profitable division, which was spun off in 2019 and taken public to tremendous success. Earlier this year, they bought Bayer Animal Sciences for $7 billion. And the construction of the downtown campus will start this year and house over 1,000 employees upon completion. And we cannot forget, and it so often is not being talked about right now, that an 82-year-old billionaire who built his fortune and companies in racing bought the largest sports venue in the world here in Indianapolis in the Motor Speedway. And guys, billionaires in their 80s do not take on ventures like this solely for good returns on investments that they're not going to get to see. Penske is spending for legacy, and his moves within it are tremendously strategic for the long run of what he has spent his entire life building. Those are big deals, but the thing that I am most excited about and hopeful for is actually what Ascend Indiana, which is a division of the Central Indiana Corporate Partnership, is spearheading and started this year in a meaningful fellowship program that's providing IPS high schoolers a multi-year fellowship program. And upon completion of these programs with Indianapolis companies, they're guaranteed a job at that company and given options for post-secondary education, assistance, and follow-through. The city of Indianapolis, Weir Cook International Airport, Ivy Tech, Indy Chamber, Cat Sapper Miller, Roche Diagnostics, TechPoint, United Healthcare, IU Health, Lilly, IPS, One America are all hiring their first fellows this year. And there are 24 more organizations in Indianapolis who have agreed to join this initiative starting in 2022. Indianapolis has consistently been rated as one of the most difficult cities for socioeconomic mobility. And this is the first program that I have seen make an intentional, huge collective stride on breaking down that barrier within our urban community. I have not seen a program have more success than this one has out of the gate already in getting people engaged and businesses engaged in a meaningful production. So those are highlights. I could drill down more. I was told I needed to be brief. And so I'm going to end there. Thank you, Rosie. And we're going to move towards the Platt stats. All right. So this year we grew our total volume from 232 million to over 410 million, which is a $177 million gain. That is tremendous. We'll get more into that contextually later. Our transaction growth grew by 669 from 1,176 closings to 1,845. And our per agent growth grew to over 1.5 million. All right, so that's all MyBOR stats for Platt. Now in all MyBOR, next slide, median agent production. Platt ranked top. Our median agent production across all MyBOR is top at 3.2 million. Remax Advantage at 2.9, Century 21, 2.6. And that's great. I love that. That is good. We're growing. It's a big deal, but I love these next stats, which are about what we're seeing within Indianapolis. We saw a dollar volume growth ourselves of 146 million. Now, as a friend of mine said, man, you guys got edged out by Tucker by like, you know, what, I don't know, you could say 65 million. Look at the number of agents. With 96 agents, we were second in dollar volume growth up to 857. Century 21 came in at 85 million with 314. The market share growth for Indianapolis, Platt was number one in spades. That's the next slide, Rosie. We saw a market share growth of 1.5%, which sounds like a pretty small number until we see that like the number one spot, which we are gaining traction on, is sitting at about 18%. And the second place spot is sitting at just over 6%. If we gain this amount again next year, we will overtake Century 21 for the number 2 spot in Indianapolis. The next set, this is probably what I am most proud of. The average dollars sold per agent for Platt at 3.5 million for the city of Indianapolis dwarfs our other brokerages in the area and says that an agent at Platt has a tremendous opportunity to make a very livable wage doing meaningful work in their city. That's a big, big deal in our industry. You don't see that a lot. This number is an outlier for what we see in our industry for Indianapolis. And if we go to the next slide and take a look at the growth of that, our average dollars per agent grew by 1.5 million. We were sitting a hair over 2 million last year when I reported these numbers. We are sitting at 1.5 million, which is far beyond where our competition is. And that is a huge credit to the work that you all are doing, that you continue to do, that you do from a place like a source of values that are sustainable and enjoyable and develops advocacy. So these are numbers to celebrate. I'm hugely excited. I mean, I could geek out about the numbers anyway, but guys, this is huge. You're doing great work. I'm super proud to be part of this. And just, yeah, thank you all for being here and being part of it and let me be in it and nerd out in the numbers as I love to do. Cheers.
Thanks, Rex. That was amazing. Next up, we have Crystal White, ready to hand out some awards. If she's still on here.
Paging Crystal White.
She needs
There
her
I
intro music.
am. Rosie, can we make it where I can see everybody, or will that mess up your slideshow?
I mean, we just ditched the slideshow. Yeah.
So
Because I want to see their oh, there they are. Okay.
you personally can take the slider in the middle and drag it to the far left so the slideshow is really little and then you see more people.
Silva, you're amazing, but I've been drinking, so I'm not gonna do that right now. Okay, so quick confession, the agent in me is playing the drinking game. The manager in me is trying to be professional and make sure that I get the stuff right and I know what I'm doing. So anyway, It's killing me that your volume is off because I want you to talk back to me really quick, but that's okay. So I'm excited about those numbers. Are you guys excited about the numbers?
Yeah.
I need to see participation.
Woo!
Yes. So
Yeah.
the reason why, let me tell you why that excites me, honestly. It excites me because it says experience. It says success. It says badass. And that's what we are. That's what you are. That's what our agents are. And that makes me excited. Like, that's amazing, right? And so you can't get those numbers without having badass, successful, experienced agents, right? So even some of our new agents fit all of those things. And so I want you to think, I'm going to name off 3 different amazing people who kicked some, my sons can hear me talking, so kicked some tushy last year. And so, but before I rattle off their names and what they did, I want you to pick your spot. Like, yes, your spot. Look to the person in your square next to you and be like, I'm picking my spot. Okay, just look over, just look. Let me see you look. Look to the side. Thank you, Kate Tuttle. Like, you did it really good. But seriously, I want you to pick your spot. Thank you, Silva. That was like a complete amazing, what was that, Brady Bunch? Thank you. But I want you to pick your spot. I want you to think about when I'm describing these awards and what they had to do to achieve them. I want you to pick your spot. Where are you going to be at next year? When we're doing this together and we're having the party of all parties next year, what are we going to celebrate about you? Because if it's up to me, we're going to have a few more things to celebrate if Mark and Rex gives me any type of control in that. Because I love to celebrate. I love celebrating you guys. And so while we do have some good categories, I just kind of wouldn't mind seeing some more. Okay. And so here we go. We're going to talk about Rookie of the Year first. Rookie of the Year. What is that? Rookie of the Year, that means this particular agent in their first full calendar year as an agent. So that means if you're an agent now and you just started whenever, if January 1 to December 31st is your first full year, this can be you next year. Like, just, take it, right? Just pick your spot, take it. But this particular person sold more in their first calendar year than anybody else who had their first full calendar year this year. Now, this person is a little bit mysterious. Like, I had to do some digging and I had to do a little bit of stalking to discover, like, who is this person? Like, I want to know this person better. And I am so glad I stalked. I'm so glad I did my digging because it was so worth it. This person is Dan McNeil. Dan McNeil was worth all of the stalking. Yes, Dan, we are clapping for you. He was worth all of the digging. It's amazing. And so I want to tell you a little bit about Dan before I have Dan speak. And so hopefully Dan doesn't mind sharing a little bit with us. But Dan flies below the radar quite a bit, right? And so it's a good mystery because it's one of those mysteries that when you do find out a little bit more about him, it's good. Like, because sometimes you find out more and you're like, ooh, but it was good. It was good. And so I've been around Dan a few times, but he's just Dan. Like, you don't really know till you start digging and stalking in his life, you know who he is. But let me tell you what I found out when I got to dig into life a little bit with Dan. Besides him being an avid runner who loves running, who knows how to pick the race to get in and knows how to do the work and finish and go till he completes, which is exactly what he did in his business last year. And so it's not a coincidence, but he is also a very thoughtful and giving and kind human being. His daughter, Lily, and his grand dog, Hank, would be so proud of him tonight. I'm sure they're in Texas, but his production is just a byproduct of who he is. He loves his community. He loves people. He loves his clients. And it's not a mystery how he earned this award, although he might be a little mysterious to us. And so without any further ado, I would love Dan to, if is Dan on, I would love for us to get to hear from Dan personally. So
Yeah,
take it away, Dan.
Hey there. Well, thank you very much. Stalking, I've never had such a positive stalking experience, Crystal. It was very nice. I really appreciate all the kind words and the polite stalking that you did. Last year was the result of three things: hard work, focus, and support. And the first two, I can do standing on my head. Those are easy, but the support part is what I really lean on. And you know, you mentioned my daughter Lily. I lean on her a lot, and I count on her for a lot of support. I don't know, has anybody have I ever mentioned Lily to any of you before? I may have once or twice. And the IUA team, Nikki, Ashley, Liz, all the agents, the support I get from the team is just absolutely incredible. The plant office, Ashley, Rosie, Michelle, Emily, Gigi, and Crystal. It's just all phenomenal. But most of all, none of this would have happened for me without Rex. I just couldn't have done it without him. And I hope you know, Rex, how much I appreciate everything you've done for me. And I love you, brother. And thank you. Thank you very much.
That was so nice.
Dan, the
I'm not
crowd
trying
is
to
going
cry.
wild. Woo! You just can't hear them, but I promise they're going wild. So I really think we need to incorporate dancing at our next party, but I'm just going to leave that right there. Just saying, Mark, the weight of
Agreed.
my heart is dancing. So anyhow, the second thing I want to do is we're going to meet our runner-up in sales. Again, pick your spot. Pick your spot. Like, these spots are earned. Yes, Silva, look around, girl. Yes, pick your spot. So I'm excited. So this person, a little mysterious as well. I had to do a little stalking again. And, you know, luckily what I'm finding is really good, great, positive things. I don't have to feel creeped out about stalking people, but I'm kind of getting good at this whole stalking thing, but it was really exciting getting to know this person. I am such a transparent person, and Dan and our next wonderful agent, they are just very reserved, and they're kind of a little more postured. And so I may have something to learn from them, but they caused me to lean in, and it was very exciting to lean in, because what I leaned in, what I got to learn and discover about Miss Tatum Hill, our runner-up in sales, that means, you guys, she sold a whole lot of homes. A lot of people are in homes because of Tatum this past year. A lot of people got money in their pocket because of Tatum, because she's helped them reach a lot of real estate goals. And so she did the second highest in the entire brokerage in sales in 2020. Miss Tatum, so you guys don't have to stalk her. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about her because I did that for you. But she is a very hard worker. She's a woman of integrity, and she is extremely professional. Those things are not so hard to figure out, considering what she's accomplished. But she is very generous with everyone she meets. And according to her husband, his three things that he would describe her is beautiful, smart, and forceful. And wouldn't you all say that's pretty true? She's got to be a force to reckon with if she nailed number two. With as much as we sold, do you know how big of an honor that is? Like, number two, that is amazing. And so, Tatum, I know your husband, your daughter, and your dogs, Henry and Zoe, I know they would be so proud of you tonight if they could be on here and share the square with you. But without further ado, I would love Tatum to please unmute yourself, because we want to hear from you, girl.
Oh my gosh. Crystal, you're stalking. I like have no words, but I have like mad respect because I am all about the discovery, research, the different terms for stalking. But getting my husband to talk to you is like next level. I'm impressed. He's not easy in that regard. So that is awesome. For me, this past year, I think, we all know it was different. I think every year is different and a change. And for me, thinking back even before March of 2020, like my life was just like so different. I lived in a different house in a different neighborhood and thought maybe real estate was going to slow down for me and like maybe that was going to be okay. And life just kind of like turned upside down, and deciding to lean into it and see what we could all kind of do together was stressful for sure, and a lot of hard work, and a lot of really late nights. For anyone who knows me knows I like normally am in bed like way before now. So I'm here. I'm showing up for y'all. It's great. But I think what I learned was that, I always knew showing up for our clients and caring was important. But I think this year taught me it's so much more than just selling real estate. It's being involved in your community, like genuinely like reaching out and caring and asking questions and seeing what you can do just on a human level. And of course, like, yes, that does turn into real estate and business, but like really just being present and seeing how you can engage with different people and what you can do for small businesses and for your neighbors. And for me, that was just very eye-opening in 2020. And two, like so thankful for my team, not only my husband, of course, and my kid and the dogs, which are like sleeping at my feet, but our team, and just having like really raw, honest conversations this year, like truly kept me going. So I'm very thankful and look forward to 2021.
Thank you, Tatum. And so last but not least, again, everybody say, pick your spot, pick your spot. This spot won't come easy, but this agent doesn't do anything easy. She loves a challenge all the time. No stalking was required on this one because the top dog, top in sales, top dog, I'll say it, is Miss Kelly Lavengood. And so Kelly is, first of all, let's give her this. Kelly Lavengood is, I happen to know Kelly very well. I'm very fortunate to get to know her. And some of the things I would say about her is she's extremely talented. She's a very extremely talented person who cares deeply for her community, for her family, for her business, her team. And in fact, she is very generous, but when she's passionate, she's very passionate, and she gets very passionate about the people that she cares about. And you can feel it and you can see it, and she advocates for those things that she's passionate about. Her husband, Scott, and her little cutie pie son, Kim, I know are extremely proud because they are definitely her business partners, and you will see them when you see Kelly, like it is a family, it's a family affair. And so Kelly is going to get this, this is so heavy, this amazing cup. I just insisted on it being here in the Zoom call, but Kelly gets to take a big sip out of the big cup. She is one that it's a rite of passage at their brokerage that if you are the top in sales, that you get to take that and keep it for the year. And I did not drink out of it, Kelly, so it's okay. But Kelly, please, we want to hear from you. Thank you.
Scott just handed me a box with a sparkly jacket, which I was texting Jaden about earlier, asking if he was going to be wearing it tonight. So I guess I get that privilege. It might be past Tatum's bedtime, but it's not my 4-year-old's bedtime yet. So he may or may not pop back in the picture. Thank you guys. very much. I really appreciate it. And I am super grateful to my husband and my son who do very much participate in my real estate business and are huge supporters, and my team, because I would not have hit my goal without them. So 20 million's a goal I've been chasing for a few years, and I'm really glad to hit it. But you guys are definitely going to give me a lot of competition. Dan, I was in year 8 of my career before I hit what you sold in your first full year in real estate. So you guys are amazing. I am really impressed with our brokerage. And I think if you have, I think most of our agents started at Platt.
Now I'm going.
Okay, bye, buddy.
All right. Say bye.
Thanks for coming to say hi. If you, most of you have started your career at Platt, and you're very lucky to have started here. But if you have not been in another brokerage, you probably don't know just how special of a place this is. The emphasis on our agents is incredible. And when Rex was going over the numbers of our production per agent, keep in mind, most brokerages, all of the team leads, members, sales go under the team lead. So when we're talking about our per agent production, we're talking about our per agent production against giant teams. And it is incredible. So that is really neat. I love that our team members are treated as full agents. That is not something you get everywhere. And I just really want to make sure you guys know that this is a great place. So I'm glad to see everybody tonight. Wish it could be in person next year. Cheers.
Okay, Rosie, do whatever you want to do with the screen now.
I love it. Mark, I'm going to turn it over to you, and I'm guessing you'd rather see people as well.
Yes. Thanks. So since she just got to present the awards, I'm going to cheat and give a second introduction and thank you to Crystal. To have Crystal as a part of our team, in particular, the presence and really, I think the power that Crystal holds as a coach and a leader and an encourager. I have already been very, very grateful for that. And I think, Crystal, you will make Platt even more of a special place than it is. So thanks. Quick shout out to those 3 agents that won those 3 awards. I feel like maybe at the end of the year, you kind of tend to take the numbers for granted. In a market like Indianapolis, an individual selling $20 million of real estate, it's really unbelievable. It really is. And guys, this isn't $20 million like agents writing under Kelly, just so that you know that. Kelly closed that much business while doing a lot of other meaningful things in life. And in a marketplace where our median transaction just now finally passed over $200,000, that's really incredible. So it's a lot of hard work. Yeah, by the way, Kelly, that's Jaden Bliss cologne. Nothing but the best, by the way. Yeah, he likes to spend money on cologne. It's really good, too. So there you go. We do give out 5 total awards, and a part of the reason that we give out kind of 2 different categories of awards is that like, hey, we talk about numbers as an industry, and I do think numbers matter because numbers are indicators of how hard people work and how good they are at their jobs and serving clients. And so it's not about the numbers, it's not about the money, but a lot of times being able to service a client really well, one of the measurables there is numbers. But there are some other things that we like to recognize and measure. And so we give out a community award and a culture award. So you can think about these as community award being outward facing, someone who within our company really obviously cares about their community, is engaged in their community, and not only they themselves, but they're a leader for our company in engaging in the community by inviting and encouraging and empowering other people to engage in their community in a positive way. And so we want this to be a really high priority and value of our company. And so we're thrilled that we have a lot of people that do this. But this year, Silva, you really stood out for us. Yeah, round of applause for Silva, please. From a community perspective, if you've had the chance to interact with Silva, it's pretty likely that you came across some form of community engagement. Just to give you a little bit of a image to this. So she's of course, on her neighborhood association board, she's the vice president. She's involved with MOPS, the Mother of Preschoolers program, Keep Indianapolis Beautiful, of course, in Silva's neighborhood. She's the block captain for KIB. And those just kind of a small picture of what she does. But Silva really exemplifies, I think, one of the markers for us as a culture, which is she is engaged in the life of her community to make it a better place to live. And so, Silva, kudos to you for that, and for encouraging the rest of us to be a part of that. Silva is not and I say this as a compliment, Silva's not a loud personality that would ever try to guilt or force someone to engage, but she does a really great job of inviting people to engage in serving the community. So, Silva, thank you for leading us in that, for encouraging us to be about our neighborhoods and about our city. If you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of perhaps inspiration for us about caring for our community, that would be great.
I actually just have to thank you and Rex and the whole staff. Like, I think that the opportunity here, I have to echo Kelly that Platt is not like other brokerages. And if you've done the rounds and interviews, it is like, we are so special. There's not another brokerage like us. Even brokerages spun off of us, I have to say. Like, the generosity that you treat us with is unparalleled. The way that you don't bring on new agents to like grow the brokerage bottom line, but the whole plan you have for new agents is to like bring them up and into like good work in their community that's also sustaining and life-giving to them. And I don't think that I could be engaged in my community the way that I am anywhere else than at Platt. And I just love this group of people so much, and I'm so thankful to be part of this family.
Thank you, Silva. Yeah, pleasure to have you. If you haven't had a chance to get to know Silva, I hope that you will very soon. And perhaps she can find a way to encourage you to engage in your community in some way. So thanks. So the second non-numbers oriented award is the Culture Award. So if community is outward facing, culture is inward facing. Who is it that as a part of our family this year put extra effort and went out of their way to care for their peers? And again, guys, this is not an easy decision. There's a lot of people within our community that this comes naturally to them. So there are many of you that we could have chosen for this. But in all that 2020 was, Chris Golightly really stood out to us as a staff. And this is not a surprise that Chris is like this, but the effort that Chris put in, particularly early summer, late spring, early summer, when things were like they were, Chris going out of his way to be a positive word of encouragement and an offer to help. And I think y'all know what I mean by this. We sometimes as human beings, we offer to help, and because it feels like the right thing to say. Let me know if I can do something to help. But then a Chris Golightly offer to help is so obviously genuine. And there's a list of what Chris has done But modeling this for us as a company, and being such a positive voice in the middle of what was a really challenging late spring and early summer. Chris, I've been encouraged by that. I know a lot of people here at Platt have. It's a pleasure to have you here, and you have, without being asked, and to no gain of your own, collaborated and supported people in the company in a meaningful way. So thank you. And if you, again, wouldn't mind sharing with us perhaps a word of encouragement or thought about how you view culture and how you view supporting other people.
Mark, thank you very much. And thank all of you. A whole host of people to thank Rob for giving me this opportunity. That's who I am. And you know, I hope my offers came across kind of in two aspects. One was from a professional standpoint, but more importantly to me, we're moms, we're dads, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're sons, we're daughters. And a lot of times, even pandemic or non-pandemic, those can be incredible challenging roles. And so to give people positive reinforcement and positive encouragement, to me, is what's most important. But thank you all again very, very much. I am incredibly honored to be a part of this group in 2021 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Well, you guys, I will admit it is difficult to limit this group of people to 5 awards, but we also want them to be meaningful. So congratulations to those 5 people. We'll be sending something your way. And thanks for the heart and effort that went behind those achievements. Yeah, it really means a lot. Okay, so if y'all have been tracking with the company Facebook page, you know that we are very, very close to $1 billion in sales volume from the inception of the company. So this is not from when Platt started. This is pre-rebrand from the inception of the company today. So I'm going to hand this off to Gigi, and Gigi's going to share kind of an update to today and a little bit about what's going to happen probably in the next like 10 days.
Yes, very exciting. So for this week's status update on our $1 billion, we are at $990 million, which is just incredible. And as Mark says, numbers are such an indicator. And I think of Platt being a young and robust company. And I think it just speaks to serving your customers, serving your community, and just doing good business and what we can achieve with that. So in light of that, and in keeping with the excitement, we have some very exciting prizes for the agent who closes and gets us to 1 billion. And they are a night stay at the BottleWorks Hotel. This place is amazing. It's Art Deco. It smells divine. I'm very jealous to whoever gets it because it's fantastic, as well as a $150 gift card to any Cunningham restaurant. There's so many great spots near the hotel. It's going to be an amazing night to just celebrate who we are and what we've done. So we are so close to this. We're going to bring it home. Now back to you, Mark.
If any of y'all are trying to time that, good luck. Whatever closing it is that passes $1 billion, then I mean it could be any of you. So good luck to all of you. You guys, it's really special to be with you, even if it's virtually. We're gonna end the night with a challenge and a toast. And before we get to the challenge and the toast, I just want to say, to reiterate some of the accomplishments that Rex talked about in terms of numbers. If you haven't caught how significant the per agent growth in the company is, I would encourage you to reach out to me or Rex to say, hey, could you run that by me again? Because it's a really big deal, and it's the one measure that separates us a lot from the industry. And we're really proud of that. So hopefully that's something you can walk away with to say like, wow, not just the overall company growth. Obviously, we added a lot of agents. We grew in total sales volume. But I think the thing that sticks out the most to us as a staff is that the level of sales volume being closed per agent outpaced the industry by a mile. And that's a really big deal. So way to go on that. Okay, the challenge that I want to give you. Know that a toast is following this. But I've been thinking a lot about the opportunity to share something with everybody, and I want to give you a 2021 challenge. If you have heard me talk at all in the last year, there's a decent chance that you have heard me talk about what I think is about to happen in Indianapolis. And you look back at the last 10 years, Indianapolis has had an incredible decade, growth, development, traction, culture, but a couple things to consider right now. Number one, we saw 3 months in a row this summer with median price records in terms of going up, right? Highest median price on record for a 30-day period, and it happened 3 months in a row. October to October, we saw a 16% increase in year-over-year price. That's crazy. It's for Indiana, it's unprecedented. You take the middle half of the country, we have the second shortest supply in the middle half of the country as a state. Indiana has the second shortest supply of housing. Interest rates are below 3%. You start to add this stuff up, and guys, 10 years from now, when we look back at what the cost of housing is in Indianapolis, I hope that we don't say we're surprised that prices are notably higher in 10 years. I'm not going to suggest in this evening or in this setting that I think that's definitively good or bad. What I'm going to say is that as a profession, financially, that will benefit us financially. And it's coming. My challenge to you is that as a profession, I think we have a significant opportunity to care about access to stable, affordable, accessible, attainable housing in the city. I know that it is not our primary profession, right? I guys, I understand. I hope I do. I understand what our job is, and that's to service the needs of clients. But our industry has a responsibility because we're the professionals that understand what's coming before anybody else does. I hope that we do. We should. We know the data. We experience it every day. And so as I'm sitting here in January of 21, thinking about Indianapolis as the second most affordable of the 30 largest cities in the country, I'm thinking this won't last for very long. We will not be the second most affordable of those 30 cities for very long. All the indicators say that in the next 10 years, we will experience something like what a lot of other cities around the country have already experienced. My challenge to you is that I think each of you in some way could have a positive impact on ensuring that your community, your neighbors, your city can attain stable, affordable housing. Now, I think that looks very different. I will not prescribe a solution. I will not say, here's how you do that, because I think it looks very different for all of us. Perhaps it's communication or education or involvement in a nonprofit or the clients that you choose to take on and how you handle them. I mean, I think there's lots of ways. But I hope as a brokerage in 10 years, we can turn around at 2030 and say, wow, the attainability of housing in Indianapolis is radically different in 2030 than in 2020. but we were very intentional and eyes wide open in our community as a company about what to do about that. So that's my challenge. I think, I don't know how many of us there are in the call. I don't know, there might be 60 or 70 of us on the call, and there's probably 60 or 70 ways that takes shape over the next decade. But I hope that you find a way to do that in your neighborhood, in your city, in your industry. If you ever have a internal drive, you say, I feel motivated to that, but I don't know how. Shoot me a text and we will have a conversation. I don't know if I can tell you how to do it, but I am happy to help you think through what the best fit for you is. So if you're motivated but don't know how, tell me, and I will help you figure it out. Okay, challenge over. Hopefully you all have something left in your drink, because I want you to grab your drink because we're going to make a toast. I mentioned it earlier. I think in some ways, the end of this year, there is a lot to be aware of in terms of our community suffering. But at the same time, as a company and as professionals, what we have to be grateful for is incredible. It is really incredible. And now more than ever, I say, don't take it for granted. Celebrate it in a grateful way, not a prideful way, not a we control this kind of way, but in a way that says we have so much to celebrate for, that we should be saying thank you for. And so I think my toast is to collectively say thank you, to collectively say we have an incredible number of things to be grateful for at the end of perhaps the most challenging year that we've ever experienced. And so my toast is to say I'm really proud of you, genuinely. I could not be more proud to be associated with a group of people. I'm proud of what we accomplished. And my toast is to together say thank you and to be appreciative of all that came in 2020 that we have to be grateful for. So cheers to that.
Here, here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Guys, that is it for us tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. We love you. And to Phil and Billy and Spencer, share that list. I want to know what's on it. Okay, that's all. Good night, everyone. Have a great night.
Hi, guys.
Love you guys. Yep.
Good night, everyone.
Fun,
Thank
even though it
you.
was Zoom. Love you all. Bye.